Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM. Time to go to our correspondent from the Wimmera Mallee Sport section of that new paper that's come out, and that is Chris Graetz talking all things Wimmera footy with us here on Flow FM. Chris, great to have you back with us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going good, thanks. It's been a great week and it was a great weekend of football. How about you?
I imagine it would have been, doing quite well. Thanks for asking. Lots going on in one of your many worlds, and that is Wimmera football. And we'll go back to the round 3 games. Dimmy in their game against Stall, a closely fought win for the away side. Would have been a great game to watch this, Chris. 82 was enough to register for Stall against Dimbulla, who managed 77, 11-11 to 12-10. Good win for Stall in a very close encounter, this one, Chris.
No, it was very close. Actually, Dimbulla were ahead most of the game, and then Dimbulla, their recruit, Jackson Calder, had a chance to kick a goal after the siren to win the game for Dimbulla. He sprayed it left and Stall hung on. So, it was a great game. I mean, you look at the results and Jackson Calder, 6 goals. He's kicked 11 goals in his first 2 games for Dimbulla. And then Cody Driscoll kicked another lazy 6. So Cody's leading the goal kicking at the moment, 2 ahead of Tom Williamson. So they're going good. But, Dimbulla, they'll be disappointed, but they're the only team that's gotten that close to Stall so far. So, they're looking good, even though they haven't won yet.
Just one straight kick off, so they'll be disappointed knowing that. Minyip Matoa, they managed a 16-point win off of Horsham, against Horsham Demons, rather. So the D's going down. Good win for Minyip Matoa.
Yeah, they bounced back well. They played Stall the week before where they lost by, about 80 points. So they came out at home and they won. They've still got a couple injuries, but Tanner Smith kicked 7 goals and Cade Peterin was great through the midfield for them again. And Timothy McKenzie down back was solid for them as well. So it was a good result. The Demons, we know they've improved this year. They've got a young team, but with all the injuries Minyip have they got the win, but they kicked 10 behinds in the first half, so they should have probably put the game away before half-time. So I know they got a grilling at half-time and came out and kicked 5 goals that quarter to set up the win.
Well, speaking of 80-point margins, Horsham Saints getting up by 74 points in the end against Warwick Eagles. The struggling Warwick outfit, obviously another development year for them, probably, given the nature of their results. Maybe that's being a bit harsh, but the Saints, a big win for them on the weekend.
Yeah, it was good for the Saints. They've got a lot of injuries at the moment, so they've got a lot of youngsters, so they really had to come out and beat Warwick, and they beat them by what I projected them to win by. I thought they would win by 12 goals, and they won by 74 points. So, Nathan Koenig's been good for the Saints. Forward, he kicked another 5 goals, and Angus Martin got on the board, but it was good to see young Frederick Frew get on the board for the Saints. He came over from the Horsham District League where he was kicking bags of goals in the seniors as a 16-year-old there. So he's just turned 18, so he's starting to get the feel of a bigger quality league. And, look out for him this year in the next few games because I think he'll start to hit that form.
There we have it. The Southern Mallee Thunder crashing back to earth for the first time in their season. Losing to Ararat 93-78, just 15 points in it. But the party for the Thunder is over.
Yes and no. Both teams had a lot of injuries. The Thunder had about 5 players missing and Ararat had about 4 missing. So we've got to remember that Ararat were last year's premiers and they started the year out slow. So they're starting to find their footing, and this was the Thunder's second game. With their injuries, it's not that, it'll hurt for the Thunder, but they'll get over it pretty quick. But Ararat, they're looking pretty sharp. Tom Williamson's in good form. He kicked for another 4 goals on top of the 7 he kicked last week against Warwick. So he's found his footing again up forward.
There we go. Well, Neil had the bye, so we'll look at what it all means for the ladder. Chris Stall leading the way. What's your impression of the ladder at this point, 4 games in?
Yep. My impression is that you look at the ladder, Stall, they're clear and then are at second. They've got to remember they've played one more game than everyone else. But Minyat Matoa being third is good for them. But you look at down the bottom, Dimboola with 0 wins. As I mentioned last week, this is a wide open league, so starting 0-2 is not a disaster because if Neil lose, which I think they will, and the Saints lose and the Demons lose and Dimboola win, Dimboola are suddenly on 1 win and suddenly in 5th place. So it's early in the season, but it's wide open. So you just got to get your wins when you can. So no one's out of it. Starting 0-2 is not a problem. So it's just a wide open ladder, except for the first 2 who are ahead at the moment.
Fair enough. Well, let's take a look at the games happening across the Wimmera Football League tomorrow. We've got the Demons from Horsham up against Dimmy. Which way will this one go, Chris?
Dimboola, they should be winning this. We know the Demons are young. Dimboola, they've got the big-bodied midfield. They've got big bodies all around the ground. They should be winning this, and it wouldn't surprise me if this is a 12-goal margin at least. Yes, the Demons have improved, but Dimboola, they need to come out and make a statement, and they've just got the bigger bodies all around the park, so they should be winning this easily.
All right, Minyat Matoa at Anzac Park against Warwick Eagles. The home side Warwick, can they be competitive in this one?
Well, you look at Warwick. They played the 2 top teams in the first 2 rounds, and then last week they played the Saints, where they lost by 74 points, but they were competitive for 2 quarters, and that's better than what they were in the first 2 rounds when they weren't competitive at all. So they're slowly starting to be competitive, but yeah, they're still not there. It's still going to take a while. I would expect the Minyat will win by, at least 10 goals, I would have thought.
Going to be a cracker of a game between Southern Mallee Thunder and Horsham Saints. Game of the round, possibly, Chris?
Yes. The Saints are looking forward to this test. They've still got a few out, and the young players will be looking forward to it. But Thunder at Hopeton, I expect them to bounce back in a big way. They will be reeling from last week, and they'll want to put on a show for their home fans at Hopeton. So I'd say that, it could be match of the round, but I don't think it will be because I can see Thunder winning by I'd say they'll win by at least 12 goals, I would have thought.
Wow. All righty then. We've got Stall up against Nil as well. That's the final game happening this weekend. Your tip there? Yep.
Stall, they should be too good for Nil. Nil coming off the bye, and Stall, well, they're unbeaten for a reason, and even though they nearly lost to Dimboola last week, their Nil are still behind Stall, so Stall should be winning. I'd say Stall win by about 5-6 goals.
All right, with a bye, Chris Graetz from the Wimmera Mallee News, the sports journalist there. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy the footy on the weekend, and we'll speak to you next week.
Yeah, no worries. And about the Wimmera Mallee Sport paper, for the listeners out there, even if you're not in the Wimmera or Mallee region, you can still look at the paper online. There's a digital version online, so anyone that wants to know more about Wimmera football in detail, I do a great in-depth review each week, so check it out.